Carolina, UConn playing for a national championship here. Let's pick it up in the closing seconds of the first quarter here. Paige Bueckers averaged 25 points a game through this tournament. Pulls up, hits the mid-range jumper there. UConn firing on all cylinders here. AZ Fudd gets the steal. Rolling coast to coast for the layup. UConn up 11 at this one. And then going ahead in the third here. Fudd again pulls up, gets to that midi spot, hits the jumper. And Richard, I love this. Look at her parents. Her mom is wearing a shirt that says, "Fudd around and find out."
See, look, I've said those type of things before, and I always get phone calls.
Maybe we just need to get you the T-shirt. The freshman Sarah Strong kicks it back out to Fudd in the corner. She drains the three.
What the Fudd? That's what she's saying right now. She's saying, what the Fudd?
Yeah, there you go.
That is what Don's saying.
Lip readers help us out there. A few possessions later, Fudd finds Strong for the three. Allison Feaster, her mom in the building, you know she is loving this moment. And then the fourth quarter here, this is just the finishing touches. Buckets for Bueckers. She cuts inside for the layup plus the foul.
You see buckets, I see dimes.
She finishes her career third most in NCAA history, tournament history.
Two
for
or
points.
three of them have rings.
An emotional hug with Gino Auriemma as she was taken out late in the game. And then UConn cruising to their record-setting 12th national championship here. Let's take a listen to Gino and Paige after cutting down the nets.
We saw that hug with Paige. All that she's been through, all that she's fought through. When you're in that hug, Coach, what are you saying to her?
I love you. That's all I can say. I love you.
He told me he loved me, and I told him I hated him. So, no, I love that. I love that man like more than words can describe, and there's a lot of times I don't. But it's because he's challenging me and making us all better in ways we never even knew we could.
What a storybook ending for Paige Bueckers, and UConn ends their 9-year title drought with a collective effort from their big three, Sarah Strong, AZ Fudd, Paige Bueckers. They combined for 65 points and outscored South Carolina by themselves. Paige goes out on top, AZ back next year, and Sarah, just a freshman, still has 3 years to go for Gino Auriemma. And now welcoming in a member of our big three on the site of the confetti falling, the national championship in Tampa, Chiney Ogwumike. Sis, thank you so much for stopping by to talk about this incredible game, because it was such an amazing night for Paige, for UConn. What was the most impressive part to you, sis, about this Huskies run?
I know that there are so many headlines, Gino winning his 12th, Paige going full circle and getting that elusive championship. But for me, it's all about the persistence. That's Paige's story, starting off as a national freshman of the year and then dealing with adversity, dealing with injuries. But what her superpower, which is making her teammates better, that was on full display after all of these years. I have loved it. You mentioned the numbers of the big three. Almost 80% of the points scored by them. That is through Paige's selflessness as a basketball player. That is through Paige's style of play and really trying to find ways to make her teammates better. AZ Fudd is a testimony of that, being able to play her best basketball when it matters most. And oh my goodness, the freshman Sarah Strong. I was watching the game. I was like, this might be one of the best tournament runs I've ever seen by a freshman. She certified that. Most points ever scored by a freshman. This is the Paige Bueckers effect. She uplifts her teammates and she uplifts the game.
Yeah, this is just a page in her storybook ending. And I love what Sue Bird said, that you can't have that ending without the trials and the tribulations. It doesn't become a fairy tale without that. And we certainly saw that here for Paige Bueckers. I couldn't be happier for UConn. But on the other side of all of this, South Carolina, they fall short of attempting a back-to-back here. Let's take a listen together to head coach Dawn Staley just about how she felt her team should be reacting to this loss.
I hope they're crying. I hope they're boo-hooing. Because from crying and having emotion about losing makes you work a little bit harder in the off season, makes you look at it and really analyze, what the separation is from their program and our program, and, how we close the gap with that.
South Carolina had a tremendous season. These are two powerhouses that we're talking about, Chiney and UConn and South Carolina. Is there a team that you see as more likely to make a return to the national championship next season?
First of all, in Dawn, we trust. I believe that if they won the championship, that this would have been the probably most gratifying, the most incredible, because different leading scorers happened each game along the way. This is the best bench team in basketball, and all she was looking for and begging for, you heard the sound at the third quarter, who's my go-to player? They found a good idea in Joyce Edwards, but they have to establish the next generation of Asia Wilson, Aaliyah Boston, Camila Cardoso, find that next star. But moving forward, I do see UConn being back and better in some ways because AZ chose to decide to go back to UConn.
Yeah.
Sarah Strong, freshman, now she's going to be a sophomore. I think they're more likely to be in that position next year.
Right, Sarah Strong back, AZ Fudd back, but Paige Bueckers, the storybook ending in the NCAA, a record really, it's coming to a close here. Her WNBA career, that's the next chapter. The draft is already next week, Chiney. What is Bueckers going to bring to the W this fall?
One word, efficiency. Actually, I should say two. And buckets, right?
Yeah.
She is one of the most efficient guards the game has ever seen. She was like a hair away from a 50, 40, 90 season. I think it was 89% she shot from her free throws. What I love about Paige, she can score. But you heard throughout the course of this NCAA tournament, she didn't really turn it on until Gino said, I need you to do this for your teammates. She's so selfless, but I feel like at the next level, they're going to awaken another beast. I'm so excited to see what she does in the W. More greatness to come.
Dallas, of course, has the #1 pick in this draft. Chiney, thank you so much. Before we let you go, you have just done such an incredible job throughout this entire tournament. It's only right that you were hanging with a couple of newly announced Hall of Famers last night. Maya Moore, Sylvia Fowles. Sis, you did such an excellent job, and I think you reminded all of us how much joy can be in this sport. The joy that you and Elle and Andrea brought to covering this championship run for UConn. It was so much fun to witness. We know we got to get you on the road, right? Safe travels to Africa, take a lot of photos, and then come back. We miss you in our studios.
Absolutely. And by the way, I feel like I'm being fought over for custody because I love my big three, but I also love you, Malika. You guys are my day one. Shout out to NBA Today.